Good evening, folks. Tonight's video is going to be another Parkside tool review, and in this case it's the PHP 500D2 hot glue gun. And for those of you that are not aware or haven't seen any of my other Parkside tool review videos, Parkside is Lidl's own brand of tools. Lidl's being a UK based discount retailer that's very popular here in the UK. And yeah, I saw this and I thought this is going to be an ideal upgrade to the one I currently use, which is this small Yoo-hoo one. I think that's how you pronounce it, Yoo-hoo. And it uses a 7mm hot melt glue sticks, and it's just, if you can see there, it's just rated at 9 watts. And of course, it does take a little while to get up to temperature. And because these sticks are quite short, you know, you're constantly changing them on a big job. So yeah, I was in the shop tonight and I saw this and I thought, well, why not? 25 watts, which is just under 3 times the power of my old one. But interestingly, it's 500 watts when heating up. So rather than just being 9 watts and slowly heating up, this obviously smashes on 500 watts, getting up to temperature a lot quicker, and then switches down to 25 watt when in operation, which is quite good. Heating up time, 5 minutes, approximately 150 degrees Celsius or centigrade if you prefer. Comes with power cable and a range of tips. So let's open it. Now I have to say I have already opened it because it was already opened on the shelf, as it was the last one, and sometimes people tend to open boxes just to have a look at it and then don't decide to buy it and chuck it back in, which is quite annoying. But yeah, I have opened it. And I have already made a slight modification, which I'll show you. But inside the box, it comes with 3 15cm sticks, and it comes with clearly a warranty and instruction information. Now it does come with a 3-year warranty, so if it breaks, and you haven't abused it, they will replace it free of charge, which is obviously quite good. So looking at the gun itself, I have to say it's quite a nice unit, quite hefty. Now compare it to my old one, which is obviously considerably smaller. But in terms of weight, there's actually not that much difference in the weight, believe it or not. I don't know why that is, but this certainly feels robust. They both do. But yeah, there's very little increase in weight given there's a significant size difference. But yeah, it's a really chunky, manly tool, if you want to call it that. It's got a nice rubberized handle, and it comes with a figure of 8 connector or socket on the bottom to power the unit. It's got a built-in stand, which, if you can just see that there, is quite nice. And it also comes with a powered stand, a charging cradle, if not a charging cradle, but a cordless cradle. And what you do is you plug this into the bottom, sorry, just onto the end here, like so. And then, when you're using it, and you just plonk it on like that, and it sits in the cradle, allowing you to use it cordlessly. When you want to use it, you just pick it up, pull it off, use it, and then pop it back on. I don't like the fact that this is, I don't know if you can see that, but that's actually spring loaded there. So it is slightly awkward to put on. I think if you're using it regularly, you'd get the knacker like so, where it just pops in. It's a slightly smaller connector just to aid you putting it on there. But yeah, I doubt I'll ever use this in cordless mode. So what else do we get in the box in addition to those? Well, it comes with a standard nozzle, and this comes with a sort of silicone jacket round the metal tip, and all that does is helps you remove any sort of surplus glue that sort of went onto the tip. As you're using it, you just let it cool down, and once it's cooled down, you just peel it off nice and easily. We've also got a long round tip, and we get a small flat tip. Now this one, I've had to sort of cut the silicone off the end slightly. It just pops off, just peels off like so. But what I found with this tip was when you were screwing it in, you screwed it in so far, and what was happening was it was riding up, and the silicone was over the top of the actual tip itself. But this is the flat tip, you know, and it's orientated quite nicely so that the flat area is parallel to the working surface, so you're going to get a nice thin bead when using it. So what I thought we'd do was to plug it in. I'll pause the video, I'll see how long it takes to get up to working temperature, and once we've done that, we'll show a couple of uses for it. These are a lot more common than they used to be. They're a lot cheaper than they used to be. I don't know if I've already mentioned, but this was just £8, believe it or not. And they're really handy for the electronics hobbyist, and there's various things you can use that for. Of course, you know, historically they used to be used by, I suppose, professionals and such like, but mainly the main sort of domestic use for these is people into crafts, and you know, making birthday cards, and you know, various other sort of crafty type hobbies, sewing and such like. So yeah, they're a lot more affordable nowadays, and they are really handy for the electronics hobbyist. So like I say, I will pause the video, I'll get up to temperature, and then we'll have a little play about with it, and I'll show you what you can do and how you can use it for your projects. So I'll catch you in hopefully 5 minutes. See you in a minute. Right, so that's just been heating up for just around 3 minutes or so, and it's already at working temperature. I've actually just tried it, and it, you know, it's squeezing glue out quite readily. I didn't notice at the time, but it's actually got either an LED or neon indicator in there to let you know that it's actually powered, which is quite a nice feature, because you know, not many of them have that, and it's quite easy because they don't make a noise. It's quite easy to leave it on, and then when you walk back in the workshop, you're like, oh god, I've left that on for an hour and a half. Do you know what I mean? It's not very safe. So yeah, quite a nice feature. So yeah, let's say it's up to working temperature. And I should say as well, before I go any further, it comes with 15cm glue sticks. However, Lidl are also selling packs of glue sticks, and these are the 280mm, you know, 28cm sticks. They're slightly more opaque than the ones that are included in the box, and seem a bit more stiffer. But you know, perfectly good, and you know, actually will do the job quite well. They also sell, if you're interested, multiple sort of multicoloured versions of both solid, you know, coloured glue sticks, and also glitter glue sticks, if you want to make your electronics projects really jazzy. But those were £2.99 for 18, and the coloured ones and glitter ones were both £2.99 for just 10 sticks. So what can we use it for? Well, clearly we can use it for bonding stuff. If I just put a little bead around here, you'll see it's coming out quite readily. And I'm just going to stick that washer onto this piece of plate metal here. And, you know, surface tension will hold that immediately. And we just let that cool down to give it a really solid bond. Now, once it's cooled down, depending on the types of glue sticks you use, it will either be a fairly, you know, it will sort of retain its slight flexibility, or some of them actually go quite brittle. But rest assured that will not move. Now, if you put it in somewhere where there's a lot of vibration, and you're using sort of smooth surfaces like this, metal on sort of painted metal, then there is the risk that it will come loose. But if it's just going to be in a project, you know, something that's going to be stationary, that will never ever come off unless you want it to come off. And hopefully I'll show you how easy it can be to take off. Fingers crossed, we'll see how it goes. But other things now I tend to use in my projects, inside enclosures and such like, I will tend to use these self-adhesive you know, cable tie mounts, if you like. And what you do is you just stick these on, put your wiring through, and put a cable tie, or a tie wrap, whatever you want to call it, zip tie through that, and that will secure the cabling. But if it's just a small project for yourself, or something you're not too fussy about, you can just use hot glue as well. And all you need to do is just put a bead over the top like so, and allow it to cool down. And, you know, and you can either do that on the individual wires or conductors, or around the outer insulation. You know, and that will be perfectly acceptable. Again, once it's cooled, it won't take. Once it's cooled, it will remain there until you want it to come off. A quick tip, and it's not ideal. You could do it more hygienically, but if you're a little bowl of water, but quite often I'll just lick my finger and then just run it over once I've on it. And once you've done that, it does cool a lot quicker. Let's say not the most hygienic way of doing it, but yeah, it will cool it a lot quicker. And as we can see there, that's, he says, you know, that's easily supporting the weight of that fairly thick piece of steel there. But other than for, you know, joining things together and you know, mounting wiring, there's another thing you can use it for, and it ties in with my little project I showed you last night, the little LED flasher strobe thing I was using, or was going to use for modifying, if you remember, the light unit in my son's little toy police car. Now, if I turn that on, you will see that is fairly bright, and of course, because the LEDs have got the lens basically facing up, they're fairly directional. But what you can do, and I have done in the past, is actually use hot melt glue. So what I'll do is, I'll just position this over here. Sorry, and what I'd use it for is actually as a diffuser. And it is very, very effective, especially on this one where it's quite opaque when it cools. So this is clearly really messy. But what you can do is you can put a layer on, and of course, if you do go over the edge like I've just done there, you can allow it to cool, and then once it's cooled down, you can sort of trim off the end, if you like, or trim off the surplus off the sides just using a sharp knife. Clearly, if it's on a PCB like this, you want to take care that you don't actually cut through any traces. But yeah, so you have to put a sort of first layer on there, and what that does is, as you can see, it's gone down in between the LEDs, and it does leave a fairly flat finish, as you can see there. I'll keep it level just now. Sorry, fairly flat finish, which is easy to work with. And then once it's cooled down slightly, and it might take, I might be doing this a bit too quickly, but once you've done that, then you can put an additional layer on the top. Easy to go around the edge and then fill in the middle just with a little squirt. And then again, allow that to cool down. And if I turn it on again now, you should be able to see that it has diffused that quite well. It's not as harsh as the blue one here. Now, if I do this in real time, and what I'll do is I'll just put a little bead on the bottom just to hold it in place while I do it. You can actually see how effective this is. So there's we're flashing blue just now, and if I just I'll disconnect the white one and get it out of the way just while it's cooling down. So here we go with the first fill. Now, if you see that already, just on the right hand side, it's clearly diffused very well, and it's not as harsh as the left hand side. So we'll just fill the rest of that in there. Allow it to cool for a moment. And just apply some more on top. And there you go, a really cheap but effective diffuser. Now it does look a lot duller on here than it actually is. I can assure you that is super bright and does look like a solid blue block of light. Really effective. Another use for it as well, like I said, this is going to be used in damp conditions. There's nothing to stop you putting a bead around the edge of your PCB, allowing it to cool. Do you know what? I've just I've just shorted it with the tip of the glue gun. Awesome. What do we see? Yeah, I just shorted it and the bench supply tripped out, so I'll try and keep that away. God, that's two fails in a row in my videos. But all we're doing with this is really just encapsulating the PCB, and are encapsulating the solder connections on the PCB, and you're going to stop any moisture from getting in there, because that is essentially one piece of plastic now. You know, and is going to be really, really effective for keeping the damp out. You could, if you want to, once it's in situ, of course, absolutely slather the other side in hot melt glue, but you know, at least that's going to stop oxidization and the eventual breakdown of the traces on that side. You might want to actually coat the edges as well to prevent moisture from actually getting in and potentially delaminating the board. But come on, guys, it's a £2 electronics kit, isn't it? You know, it's not you know, it's not mission critical circuitry, but of course this is just for demonstration purposes. So there we go, we saw how easy that came off. The top's still tacky as it's just stuck to my finger, but if we use this one just now, and we can see there's quite a bit of surplus come over that side. It's not fully set yet, but with these, like I say, just taking care not to damage the PCB itself. You can just trim off the excess like so. And like so. And you know, if it's going to be hidden behind something, that's a really, really effective way of diffusing LEDs. Okay, so we'll get that out the way. Like so, and yeah, so that's it on solid, and then as I wiggle it, it just comes off. That will not move at all. That, I mean, that is really super solid. But if you do need to get it off, all you need to do is grab a small flathead screwdriver, gentle twist, and how easy did that come off. You know, like I say, the surface tension and that bond sort of laterally is really, really strong, but just a simple twist of your screwdriver underneath it takes it off. And if you need to take the glue off, again, it will just peel off and will leave basically zero residue. So it's quite handy even to have a piece of scrap metal or that knocking around just to catch any drips as it comes out of the tip of the unit. Anyway, guys, that's a bit longer than I wanted it to be. Not the tidiest of jobs, just purely for demonstration purposes, and give you a little bit of an idea as to what you can actually use a glue gun for, other than, you know, gluing little diamonds onto the front of birthday cards or whatever. If you've got any good uses for hot glue guns that I've not covered, or any other suggestions, then of course please leave in the comments below. I'd be very interested to hear if you've got a really cool use for it. Otherwise, if you enjoyed the video, please like and please subscribe, and I shall catch you again soon for another video. Until then, all the best, take care of yourselves, bye bye.